Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games. I'm Chris, and today we have a box opening of Magic's latest release. This is Outlaws of Thunder Junction. This is a collector's booster box. Yeah, it's super small compared to regular play boosters, but you know what? I hear there's a lot of bang for your buck in here. Let's go ahead and check it out and see if it was worthwhile. Let's go. Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It released last Friday. Today is Monday, and I received this for my pre-order on Saturday. I hadn't had a chance to make a video until today because I've been out of town doing some personal things. And man, I actually love these collector booster boxes. They're so pretty. The artwork is fantastic. The size is kind of scary for how much you pay for it, but you know what? You don't pay for the size, you pay for what's inside the box. So I paid $199 for this box, a lot cheaper than standard retail, so it works out to be about $16.50 a booster pack, compared to what you normally pay is around $24 if you go to your local game store, or more depending on where you're going. Sometimes it gets up to $25 and even $30. So inside this booster box, it doesn't feel like a booster box because it's so small, it's only, I believe it's 12 packs. Yeah, 12 whole packs. Let's go ahead and open it up, and at the end I'll say what the total value is of this booster box. Let's go ahead and start her up. Zoom in here on the booster. So each one of these boosters is $16.50. So I'm looking for a total value of greater than $200. So of course there's gonna be a ton of foil cards in here. Archmage's Charm foil from the bonus sheet. In fact, yeah, that's just the foil. It looks cool. Pariah, Smoldering Stagecoach, full art. Smuggler's Surprise, full art. The Great Train Heist. Man, lots of rares in these packs, which is good. You really want to look for that stuff. Ride Down. Lots of spare sheets, which are not standard legal for the bonus sheets. Demonic Ruckus. Canyon Crab. Bennett Hall. Skullduggery. Vault Plunderer. Wanda Griffin. Boneyard Desecrator. So in here, I've been looking for cards from the big score. It doesn't look like I got any. The full art card, there wasn't a full art foil in here. I don't believe so. So I thought there was supposed to be a full art foil for each of these, but there's two full art cards, which is fine. One of them was from the Commander set. The other one was Smuggler's Surprise. I guess the full the premium art. The premium foil is the Archmage's Charm, which is not a bad card. This is actually a pretty good card. It's seen play in lots of different decks, everything from Commander to Modern. Smuggler's Surprise, great card for the new ability with Spree. And Smoldering Stagecoach, which is an interesting card, but I don't think it has any value. Let's go on to the next pack. Next pack. We're going to start from the bottom this time, since all the rares are at the top. Mirage Mesa, Razzle Dazzler, Festering Gulch, Take Up the Shield, Marauding Sphinx, Shoot the Sheriff, Badlands Revival, ooh, Beautiful Plains, Repulse, Skewer the Critic's Foil, Marchesa, Dealer of Death, a wanted card, Saturo, the Infiltrator, Embrace the Unknown from Commander, Skullcrack, and Ancient Cornucopia, full art, so borderless, and it is foil from the big score. It's 1 green, 2 colorless artifact. Whenever you cast a spell that's one or more colors, you may gain 1 life for each of that spell's colors. Do this only once each turn, and it taps for just 1 mana of any color. So it's a 3-cost mana rock. It's not going to probably see much play in Standard, even though it's Standard legal. But you're probably going to see this as a token 3-drop mana rock in Commander, and of course a food/treasure token. On to the next pack. So far, not a lot of value. Not a lot of value. I'm feeling a little pain here. Let's go on to the next set of cards. Steer Clear. Dance of the Tumbleweeds foil. Hard Bristle Bandit. Ambush Gigapede. Servant of the Stinger. Treasure Dredger. Getaway Glamour. The Full Art Mountain foil. Heartless Pillage. Clear Shot foil. Stinger Back Terror for 2 red, 2 colorless. It's a 7/7 creature. Scorpion Dragon. Flying Trample. It gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand. And it has plot of 1 red and 2 colors. So you can get it out as early as 4th turn unless you have some fast mana. You can get it out even sooner. But of course, it doesn't get much reward if you get it out sooner because it's going to be a 7/7. So it really rewards you for putting out cards later than sooner. Grand Abolisher from the Big Score, and this is the showcase version. For 2 white, it's a 2/2 creature human cleric. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. This is a great sideboard card for Standard. Dead Before Sunrise. Dead Before Sunrise is from the Commander set. Dust Bowl. Man, before the release, this card was going for roughly $15-$20. Now it's going for about $3. And the big hit, Stoneforge Mystic. That is the borderless special guest card. This is great. I believe they're going for $15 to $25 right now for 1 white, 1 colorless. This is a reprint, 1/2 core artificer creature. When it enters your battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Pay a white and 1 colorless. You may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. Fantastic card. Great hit. I was looking for one of those, and Mercenary Elk token. Going on to the next pack. That was a good hit. I'm very happy with that guy. Starting from the back. Quick Draw. Rooftop Assassin. Explosive Derailment. Trick Shot. Outlaw Stitcher. Caught in the Crossfire. That card's great. Brimstone Roundup. The Swamp foil full art. Fling. Heartless Pillage foil. Ty Wyken. The Perfect Shot. 1 white, 1 red, 2/3 legendary human mercenary. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to a creature equal to the creature's toughness, you get to draw a card. You pay X if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player this turn. It deals that much damage plus X instead. So you can almost guarantee to draw that card if you have her in play and have some extra mana when you cast that spell. Tiny Bones joins up. For 1 black legendary enchantment, when Tiny Bones joins up, enters the battlefield, any number of target players each discard a card. Great card for Turbid. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life. It's a great enchantment. Dream Thief's Bandit. This is a borderless version. Sorry, extended version. There's always a difference between border and extended. For 2 colorless mana and artifact equipment, whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, look at the top card of their library, then exile it face down. For as long as it remains exiled, you may play it, and a mana of any type can be spent to cast a spell. Equip 1. Pest Infestation, and the big hit is Riku of Many Paths for a red, a blue, and a green. It's a 3/3 legendary creature human wizard. This card screams, build me for a commander deck. Whenever you cast a modal spell, choose up to X, where X is the number of times you choose a mode for that spell. Exile the top card of your library until the end of your turn. You may play it, put a +1/+1 counter on this card, or it also gains trample till end of turn, or you can create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying, and you get a elemental / treasure token. Next pack. That pack was very impressive, but not every pack is. Let's see here. Silver Deputy, Reach for the Sky, Abraded Bluffs, Outlaw Medic, Burnham Grey Water, Lively Dirge, Nimble Brigand, Forest Full Art. Man, I love that. How it's the empty space is the mana symbol. Humiliate, Fling Foil, Pest Control from the Big Score. Big Score cards I'll always stop for. 1 white, 1 black. Sorcery, destroy all non-land permanents with mana value of 1 or less, and you can cycle this card. So if you don't have any opponent's cards that have those 1 or less cost, you can go ahead and cycle it. This is a great one. Wanted, Gissa, the Hellraiser, 2 black, 3 colorless, legendary creature, human warlock for 4/4 with ward 2, and they also have to pay 2 life to target. So 2 mana and 2 life to target. Skeletons and zombies you control get +1/+1 and have menace. Whenever you commit a crime, create 2 tapped 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature tokens. This ability triggers only once each turn. This card is great. I am so happy to have gotten that one. It's a cool version. I can't wait to put that into my zombie deck. Rumbleweed. This is from the Commander version. It's 1 green, 10 colorless. It's a 8/8 creature plant elemental. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each land card in your graveyard. It has vigilance, reach, and trample. And whenever it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample till end of turn. So it really rewards you for going through your deck and putting those lands in your graveyard. Leyline of Binding. I love that card. I think this is the 3rd version of this particular one I've gotten from the bonus sheet. For 1 white, 5 colorless enchantment flash domain, this spell costs 1 colorless less to cast for each each basic land type among lands you control. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this card leaves the battlefield. Great card. And Free Strider Lookout, 1 green, 2 colorless for 3/3 human rogue with reach. Whenever you commit a crime, look at the top 5 cards of your library, put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped, put the rest onto the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once per combat, and a bird / treasure token. Next pack. Cards, Snakeskin Veil. That's always a great card. Geyser Drake, Desperate Bloodseeker, Tumbleweed Rising, Lazoth, Familiar Stranger, Magebane Lizard, Prosperity Tycoon, Mountain, Savage Smash, Murder Foil, Hostile Investigator. This is from the bonus sheet, so it is standard legal. For 1 black, 3 colorless, is a 4/3 creature ogre rogue detective. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card. Whenever 1 or more players discard 1 or more cards, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn, so it will get to replace itself when it causes someone to discard. It's so good. I love it. Fiddle Fib, Lost on the Range. This is the extended version. 2 blue, 1 colorless. It's a 1/1 legendary creature. Homunculus with ward 2. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. The top card of your library has plot. The plot cost is equal to the mana cost. You may plot non-land cards from the top of your library. Such a good card, though. Of course, it doesn't have immediate payoff. You have to wait a turn because plot, you can't play the card immediately. but at the same time, being able to plot cards for future turns that you can play as sorcerers on your own turn is great, but of course, because it's blue, it hurts because those counter spells you never want to plot. You want to put them in your hand. You want to be able to play them on your opponent. If they're only played as sorceries, unless you can give them a flash somehow, it's not great. It's not great at all. So, it's a wait-and-see card. Leyline Dowser from the Commander Edition. 2 colorless mana for an artifact. You pay 1 and tap it, mill a card. You may put an instant or sorcerer card milled this way into your hand. Tap and untap legendary creature you control. Untap this card. It's cool. Fantastic. It's an Archive Trap. Archive Trap is 2 blue, 3 colorless. It's a great reprint. I play this in my mill decks. For 2 blue, 3 colorless, it's an instant trap. If an opponent searches their library this turn, you may pay 0, then pay its spell's mana cost. Target opponent mills 13 cards. Man, a huge part of their deck goes away. I play this in my modern deck. It's a great card. Fantastic reprint. First time we've seen it in a while. And Decimate. Bonus sheet foils. I don't want to see in this position. I want to see the big score. Borderless cards. Come on, Wizards. I don't want to see these things take up space. But Decimate is a very circumstantial card. You have to be able to fulfill all of the things that are listed on the card. For a red, 1 green, 2 colorless, it's a sorcery. Destroy target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. You can't cast a spell unless you have legal choices for all targets. Scorpion Dragon and Treasure is the token. Next pack. Throw from the Saddle. Corrupted Conviction. Armored Armadillo. Mine Raider. Bounding Feldar. Resilient Roadrunner. Doc Arlock. Grizzled Genius. Plains. Hindering Light. Foil Savage Smash. Seen a lot of Savage Smash today. Blooming Marsh. Great rare. Good reprint. Enemy fast lands. It's a land. Comes into play tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. And taps reduce a black or a green. Hell to Pay, 1 red, X colorless. Sorcery, it deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of treasure tokens equal to the number of excess damage dealt to creatures this way. Fantastic card. Next card is Cataclysmic Prospecting. This is an interesting card from the Commander set. For 2 red, X colorless, sorcery, Cataclysmic Prospecting deals X damage to each creature. For each mana from a desert spent this way, create a tapped treasure token. Reanimate, that's a great card. Though they've been reprinting it quite a bit lately, so it has lost some value. This card will be good for a very long time and will go in many, many Commander decks. For 1 black, it's a sorcery. You get to put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equal to its mana value. Not bad. And Rakdos, the wanted card. Rakdos the Monosol for a 6/5 legendary creature. Demon Mercenary for 2 black, 1 red, and 2 colorless. So for 5 mana, you get a 6/5 flying trample, and whenever you sacrifice another creature, exile cards equal to its mana value from the top of target player's library until the end of the next step. You may play those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Sacrifice another creature, Rakdos the Muscle gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Activate only once each turn, so you can't just sacrifice all your creatures for some kind of gain. You can only do it once per turn, and it's a foil version. So, man, that is a pretty card. I can't wait to put that in some decks. That's a cool hit. Next pack, we're down to our last 5 packs. Phantom Interference, Stagecoach Security, Jagged Barrens, Thunder Salvo, Rustler Rampage, Scorched Shot. I like this card for standard. Red Deck Wins loves this card for its sideboard. I know a lot of people don't play best 2 out of 3, but for best 2 out of 3, this card's fantastic, especially if you're playing against someone that's got some big creatures that get out pretty quick. For 2 mana, be able to do 5 damage to target creature. It's a great thing for red. Neutralize the guards. Full Art Swamp. Foil version. Ooh, pretty. Next one is Clear Shot. Decisive Denial. Another round. Another round is 1 white, 2 colorless, plus XX. Exile any number of creatures you control and then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. Then repeat this process X more times. As a sorcery, this is a pretty interesting way to be able to flicker your creatures in and out of play. I think this card is incredibly expensive, so late game it's cool. You know, be able to do it X more times if you have that 5 mana to be able to do it 1 more time, or to be able to, if you get that 7 mana to be able to do it 2 more times. It has huge return, but will it see much play? I want to try it out in my Mother of Machines deck, but we'll see. We'll see if it's super good for the end of time. Marchesa, Dealer of Death. This is the extended version for 1 red, 1 black, 1 blue. It's a legendary creature, human rogue. It's 3/4. Whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1 colorless mana. If you do, you look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 of them in your hand and the other into your graveyard. This is a cool hit. This is the extended version of Felix 5 Boots. And this is one of the guys you get. It's a foil out of one of the commander decks for a blue, green, and black for 2 color and 2 colorless. It's an ooze rogue for a 5/4 legendary creature with menace and ward 2. If a creature you control dealing combat damage to a player causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So it is just another way to get those triggers off multiple times. I don't know how effective this is going to be because I don't like trigger decks. I like coming into play decks, so I don't know if I'm going to play this card, but this card might be worthwhile to play in future decks. We'll see. Oko, Thief of Crowns. That's a great hit. Oko, when it first came out, he dominated all of Standard. He was amazing. So this is a great reprint, especially because people will want to play this in their commander decks. For a blue, a green, and 1 colorless, it's a legendary planeswalker Oko with 4 loyalty to start. +2, you get to create a food. +1, target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green elk creature with base power and toughness of 3/3. So adding only +1. And then -5, you get exchange control of target artifact or creature you control and target creature and opposing controls with power less than 3. So you're able to steal some smaller things, get rid of those food tokens. Man, it's a fantastic way to be able to manage the board. And for only 3 mana, he is fantastic. And the big hit is not as big as the last one, but Laughing Jasper Flint for a black, a red, and a colorless. It's a 4/3 legendary creature lizard rogue, and creatures you control but don't own are mercenaries and additional to the other types. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of target opponent's library, where X is the number of outlaws you control. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those spells, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. And Zombie Rogue and Mercenary Token. Last 4 packs. Let's see if I get some big hits. One of those texture foil cards, man. I haven't seen one of those in person yet. I'd love to see one. Giant Beaver. Djinn of Fool's Fall. Outlaw's Fury. Eret Lullaby. Sandstorm's Verge. Jolene Plunderer Pugilist, Luxurious Locomotive, Foil Swamp, Full Art, and Journey to Nowhere. Foil Tornado. Free Strider Lookout as the regular art. And from the big score, Nexus of Becoming for 6 colorless mana. This is the extended art version. At the beginning of combat on your turn, draw a card. Then you may exile an artifact or creature card from your hand. If you do, create a token that's a copy of the exile card, except it's a 3/3 Golem artifact creature in addition to its other types. From the commander set, the extended version of Orochi Soul Reaver for 1 black, 5 colorless creature, Snake Ninja Rogue. It's a 5/4 with ninjutsu for a black and 3 colors. So if a creature attacks and it wasn't blocked, you can ninjutsu something in to replace it. So you just put that card back in your hand and put this guy in play instead, tapped and attacking. And whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and manifest a top card of that player's library. This is a cool card. Next one is that Decimate card again. Yuck. And Mindslaver. This is a cool foil version of Mindslaver. It's a reprint for 6 colorless mana. It's a legendary artifact. You pay for it and tap it and sacrifice Mindslaver. You control target players during that player's next turn. You see all cards that player could see and make all decisions for that player. So, yeah, I know mana burn is no longer a thing, but that used to be the deal with this. You just play it anyways, even if the opponent couldn't do much. You could force them to attack somebody else if it's a multiplayer game. This card's fun in Commander, especially in multiplayer, but of course, it is very circumstantial. It's a cool card though. I'm happy to get it because I don't own one yet. And the token is Bow and Treasure. 3 packs left. So I'm looking for that huge hit. Loan Shark. I love how it's actually a shark. Gulpan. Rustling Backwoods. Overzealous Muscle. Eartha Joe Frontier Mentor. Binding Negotiation. Arid Archway. Plains Full Art. And on to Terminal Agony. Foil Buried in the Garden. Foil Roxanne Starfell Savant. This is a cool card. For 1 red, 1 green, 3 colorless, it's a 4/3 legendary creature, Cat Druid. And when it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a tapped colorless artifact token named Meteorite. When Meteorite enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target and adds 1 mana of any color. So it becomes a mana rock, and when it comes into play, it deals 2 damage. And of course, it comes into play tapped, but whenever you tap an artifact token for mana, whether it be a treasure token or a mana rock of some sort, or even those meteorites, it taps for 1 additional mana of that type that artifact token produced. Lost Jit. This is the showcase version. This is a great hit. For 1 colorless mana, it is excuse me, the new version of the Jit. Lost Jit is a legendary equipment for equip 1. When an equipped creature deals combat damage, to put a charge counter on Lost Jit. Remove a charge counter from Lost Jit at any time. Choose 1. Untap target land. Target creature can't block this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. It does a lot for a little mana. I think it will see play. It is standard legal. Will it see standard play? Probably not. Will it see work in a equipment artifact deck? I think so. I think it has lots of different possibilities, especially with being able to untap land. That's pretty cool. Discreet Retreat is from the Commander set. It's 1 black, 3 colorless. Enchantment Aura. Enchant Land. Enchant Land has tapped to add 2 mana of any 1 color. Spend this mana only to cast outlaw spells or activate abilities from outlaw sorcerers. Whenever you cast your first outlaw spell, each turn you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This is a cool card if you actually build an outlaw deck. If you have a successful outlaw deck, list it in the comments below. I would love to hear about it because I'm thinking about building one. Next one is Surgical Extraction. This card is bonkers good for a black or 2 life. So if you don't have to play it in a black deck unless you're playing Commander. Surgical Extraction is an instant. Choose a target card in your graveyard other than in a graveyard other than a basic land. Search its owner's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. That player shuffles their library. Guess what? I think this card is fantastic in a lot of different formats. Of course, it's not good at all in Commander because it's a singleton version. But this card is, it just does work in Modern. It does work in Vintage or, any of the classic formats. It does so much work. It's a great card. And then Dust Animus as the extended version and foil. It's a cool looking foil too. This is the second one of these I got. I need to get 2 more. This card, I think, is going to see 4 of play in a lot of different standard decks, especially for what it does. For a white and 1 colorless, it's a 2/3 creature spirit and has flying. If you control 5 or more untapped lands, Dust Animus enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it and a lifelink counter on it. So if you play it as late game, if you have 7 land, or you can plot it for a white and 1 colorless and just let it sit until you have 5 or more untapped lands, and then you can put it in play as a sorcery to get those +1/+1 counters, or you can have an early game 2/3 with flying. It's a good one. I'm happy to get it. I think it's a great card. Varmint and Mercenary is a token. Last 2 packs. There's one there. Let's go ahead and check out this second to last pack. See if it's break or make it. Sterling Hound, Black Snack Buzzard, Highway Robber, Failed Fording, Spinewood's Armadillo, Forsaken Miner, Miram, Herd Whisperer, Full Art, Island, Fierce Retribution, Hindering Light Foil, Goldvein Hydra. There's a good hit. This card is amazing. I know that the pre-order prices were sitting somewhere between $15 and $20. I'm sure the prices come down significantly, and it'll probably sit at a pretty good mark for a while because it is a good card. For a green and X colorless, it's a 0/0. Vigilance, Trample, Haste, and when it enters the battlefield, it comes into play with X+1/+1 counters on it. So everyone's going to say it dies from removal. Well, if someone actually does kill it, when it dies, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to its power. So all that mana you spent to cast it, you get almost all of it back. And with treasure tokens, to be able to play an even better biggie, or if you have multiple copies of this in your deck, you're able to play one for even bigger to get even more treasure tokens for when that dies. This card is cool. I'm super thrilled to get another copy of that. Pillage the Bog for a green and black. This is the extended version. It's a sorcery. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is twice the number of lands you control. Put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then it has a plot of green, black, and a colorless. That's weird to see a plot card that costs more, but you know what? I don't know. I don't think that's a great card in the first place, but yeah, it's a wait and see card. We Ride at Dawn. This is from the Commander set. This is 1 white, 2 colorless enchantment. Legendary creatures spells you cast have Convoke. Whenever your commander attacks, create a 1/1 mercenary creature token with tap. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. It's an interesting little card, being able to have Convoke, and then whenever your commander attacks, you get to have red mercenary creature tokens. This card's pretty cool. I'm actually a fan of it. I don't know if I'll play it, but it's cool. Outlaws Merriment. This is a reprint. 2 white, 1 red, 1 colorless. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one at random. Create a red and white creature token with with those characteristics. It can either be a 3/1 human warrior with trample and haste, a 2/1 human cleric with lifelink and haste, a 1/2 human rogue with haste, and whenever this creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target. That's a pretty cool benefit. And then Void Slime. Void Slime is 2 blue, 1 colorless. This is the full version, which is actually kind of cool looking. It's an instant counter target spell, activate ability, or triggered ability. Mana abilities can't be targeted. It's a great counter spell. And Golem and Treasure double-sided token. Last pack, hoping for something big. Come on, baby, let's get something big. This is, I don't know how much I've gotten so far. It feels all right. It feels all right, but you know what? It's still wait and see. Well, let's go through the comments. Fake Your Own Death. Harrier Strix. Voracious Varmint. Nazumi Linebreaker. Intimidation Campaign. Raucous Entertainer. Rise of the Varmints. The Foil Forest. Essence Capture. Foil Essence Capture. That's weird to get 2 of the same card in a pack. Saturo the Infiltrator. Here's a good hit. Avens Interrupter. This is the extended version. 2 white, 1 colorless, creature bird, rogue, 2/2 flash flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile target spell, it becomes plotted. Spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile cost 2 colorless more to cast. So yeah, they get to cast it again for free, but it's going to cost 2 more, and then as long as this guy's in play, all the rest of the spells they cast from their graveyard or from exile is going to cost 2 colorless more. This will ruin my Doctor's deck, like flat out. My Suspend deck, that's going to beat me up pretty good. Next one is Arcane Heist. This is a cool card from the Commander version. This is the extended version. 2 blue, 2 colorless sorcery. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If this spell would be put in the graveyard, exile it instead. And it has Cipher. Cipher is, you can put it onto a creature, and if that creature is not blocked, or I'm sorry, is not blocked, does deal damage to your opponent. So if it does have trample, you can get around that as well. You get to cast the card again for free. It's pretty cool. Bedevil. This is a cool reprint. 2 black, 1 red. It's an instant destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. And the final card is a foil Borderless Jit. That's an interesting card. Yeah, it's cool. It's not fantastic, but you know what? Not everything is. It's another big scorecard, which I'm happy to get. Mercenary / Clue. Overall, it's not bad. I want to go ahead and put the results for the overall box right here. I'm only going to add up the rares, the mythics, and anything that's special that has some kind of value over $1.50. You know, some people do $2. I'm going to put over $1.50 here. So here's the price. Was it worth it for me to buy the box or not? You guys will find out at the same time I do. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic week. And until next time, keep it rolling.
And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day and keep them rolling.